Welcome back to Credentialing Chronicles, where we spill the doctor's tea hotter than your morning coffee.
And give you the insider scoop on the wild worlds of credentialing, provider drama, and everything they don't teach you in med school.
I'm Shannen, and she's Nyleen, two credentialing pros with front row seats to the chaos, looking to make you a part of it. Yes, we want you to engage in spilling this tea with us. We need your love and likes, and we want to know what you think too. Look for us, please, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and yes, baby, even TikTok.
Yes, we love to see your love. From fraud scandals to burnout breakdowns and why your favorite surgeon might actually be banned from 5 hospitals.
Honey, we've got the gossip and the practical advice to keep you out of trouble and ahead of the game.
So grab your coffee, your compliance checklist, and maybe a lawyer, and let's get into it.
This is the sound of a woman giving birth on the side of a highway. Not because she wanted a natural birth, and not because she didn't make it to the hospital in time. No.
This is what happens when a Black woman in active labor is told to go home by the very people who are supposed to protect her. And a few days later, in another state, another Black woman is filmed doubled over in a wheelchair, screaming that her baby is coming, while a nurse calmly asks for the spelling of her name. Same week, same country, same pattern.
We're not tiptoeing around it. We're both mothers. We've both seen the stories. We're asking the one question that matters. Why do Black women have to fight for basic care, even while bringing life into the world? Welcome back to Credentialing Chronicles, the show that pulls back the curtain on the failure of healthcare and the silence that keeps them all alive and happening, correct?
Yes, girl. And today we're going into one of the most gut-wrenching, viral, infuriating, and truth-telling episodes we've ever done.
Yeah, not because these stories are rare, but because they're common, and America still refuses to confront the big question, which I believe would be why. Why does this keep happening? Ultimately, right? Our listeners, if we could just picture this, Mercedes Sherry Wells walks into, how do you say their name? Franciscan? Oh, Franciscan. Thank you, Nyleen, my love. Health Crown Point. She is contracting every single minute. So, once you've had a baby, you know that things are moving. And she called ahead. She tried. She knows her body. She knows her baby is coming, right? That's where we're at.
Yeah. And from what I can remember, it was also not her first child. So we know, not me, because I don't know, but once you have the second or the third one, things move on a little bit differently. And the hospital staff allegedly tells her, well, you're only 3 centimeters. You're not in quote unquote active labor. Now, just pause. Now, any OB, any L&D nurse, any midwife knows that the number of centimeters is not the only threshold for active labor. I mean, I don't know too much about nursing stuff. Honestly, I've never understood that part, but I do know that there are a lot more factors.
The OB part.
Yeah. The thing is I dilated in an hour, right? So when I was ready to give birth, I was in labor for 24 hours. But then that last hour, I went from 3 to 10 centimeters, 1, 2, 3. So it's not the only threshold, right?
No. And I've had 6 children, 6 daughters. And I can tell you, I've went from 3 centimeters to 10 centimeters in 8 minutes, to be honest with you. And was sitting at 3 for 10, 12, 15 hours, and then they give you a little, hit of the epidural one time I had. One time I just got up on the ball and dilated, went all the way that fast. So, it doesn't even matter if you have the medicine. But, instead of reevaluating, instead of just listening to this woman, I mean, she's 40 weeks pregnant. It's again, like you say, it's not just the one thing that she's 3 centimeters. Something doesn't feel right. Let's take a look. Literally, Nyleen, Mercedes is discharged. They let her go. They literally told her to go.
Wow. So the video of her being like wheeled out, shaking, crying, begging is devastating, right? And the casual body language of staff around her, like that's the part that cuts the deepest, right?
And that's the thing, right? It's like, where is the human touch, right? We're moving more towards robots and AI. I mean, we need to be moving more towards the human touch, because let me tell you, 8 minutes later, her husband pulls over to the side of the road in the middle of traffic, beautiful, and delivers her baby alone. Okay? No receiving blankets, nothing. And because the hospital, why? Because said, just go, you're fine, go home.
Go take a little walk.
It's not labor came fast story. Literally, this poor woman, Mercedes, was dismissed. That's what I look at it.
That's horrible. And can we talk a little bit about credentialing and the OB world at the hospital? Because the reality is the doctors are not just randomly standing around the floor. There's a few hospitals that do have OB hospitalists that kind of do hang out on the floor. There is that model. That model does exist. However, in many cases, they just call your doctor and then your doctor comes in for labor. But those medical decisions are not being made by the physicians. That's actually being made by the nurses, right?
Yeah. And I mean, let's think about it, right? You're in there, you're saying, my baby's coming, I'm having contractions. From my experience, was it your experience? They were in there checking me. Let me check you again. Let me check you again. I mean, is that not what happened to you?
Yes. And then they called my doctor, and then my doctor sat at the nurse's station until they said, okay, she's at 10 centimeters. But my doctor was made aware. So there's a reason why physicians have training that nurses don't. And we love our nurses. And I'm not saying that what you do is not important. What I'm saying is that doctors are the ones who are responsible for the patient, your baby, your patient. So I would love to find out what that OB said, and somebody has to get in trouble in that hospital.
It's on somebody's liability insurance. I mean, okay, so what do you say? What do you say? Let's get in the car. Where are we going?
Well, let's go to Texas, your favorite state.
Yes, baby, all day.
Mesquite, Texas. What happened in Mesquite, Texas?
Another Black woman. Another one. Carrie Jones is in a wheelchair, doubled over. Her mother is filming because literally nobody is listening to her. Literally. The nurse's face.
Now, I will tell you, we do have, with this world, we do have to be careful filming in private HIPAA areas. Just saying. However, I'm kind of glad that she did in this particular.
Yeah, I'm happy. I would never say, yeah.
But the nurse didn't spring into action. And we've got lots of physicians and lots of nurses talking about this on social media, but everybody's got their opinion. So I'm really interested in bringing this up and how, credentialing and healthcare really plays a role in all of this. But she doesn't call rapid OB. She doesn't say, let's get you back right now. She says, can you confirm your name and your insurance? Like, really? Really?
Again, my own experience. Don't know how your experience went. When I was ready to give birth, they bring me up to the room. They get comfortable, get in. And then insurance came in later. Got my information, right? I mean, you too, or no? Is it just my experience?
No, because if you go into the emergency room and there's an active action coming, which we're going to talk about it a little bit later. If you go into the emergency room, right? Let's take out of this OB situation. If you go into the emergency room and my bone is sticking out of my wrist, or I'm having chest pain, they're not supposed to stop and say, oh, wait, let me get your insurance information. They might ask for your ID or to make sure your name is spelled right, but they're supposed to wheel you right back when you have an emergency. It's like coming in with the ambulance. The ambulance is going to take you right into a bay to get emergency care immediately, not to ask you what insurance you have.
No, and that, that all falls under the EMTALA law, which I know we're going to talk about later. But I mean, literally, those protections were literally placed for situations like this. And Nyleen, you can literally see Carrie's body shaking in the video.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I mean, the pain that this poor woman went through. You see her gripping the sides of the wheelchair. Like, I don't even know how she did it. You can hear her saying, the baby is coming. The baby is coming.
But the hospital just kept her waiting, not for minutes, but for over 30 minutes.
Pain. And many women rip and so many things could happen. 12 minutes after they finally move her, guess what? The baby arrives in the wheelchair, covered in the baby poop, the meconium, the meconium. The meconium. I mean, struggling. That's so bad when your baby's born with that, because he was born during a medical crisis that the hospital watched escalate in literal real time. Not thinking about the baby, not thinking about poor Carrie.
So can we talk a little bit about the truth about that this only is happening to certain kinds of women? Can we just talk about something uncomfortable?
I think we need to. I mean, because we're both women. If these were white women in pain, begging, screaming that the baby is coming, I mean, you and I both know exactly how that would have gone. And I mean, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but our skins are lighter. And I have never had a bad birth. Never. I can literally testify to that. Thank God. I mean, get a room immediately. Call the doctor. Check her. Go ahead, ma'am. Put your robe on. Get yourself comfortable. Hook up to the Bluetooth. I mean, I've never been, denied outright care. Have you?
I have been treated differently because of my size, my look, my personality, right? But I think that we can see that for colored women, meaning anybody, indigenous women, Black women, Asian women, they're treated different. We are treated different. There's a different script, and sometimes it's a deadly one, right? She's exaggerating. She's not that far along, or she's dramatic, or she can wait, or she's fine. Like almost like we're supposed to be tougher, I guess, or like we're not. We're irritating.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, we bring everybody into this world, us women. I mean, we really do, and we really don't want trauma happening to anybody during labor and delivery. I mean, this is racism that nobody wants to talk about because it doesn't use slurs, I guess, right? I mean, it's more paperwork, it's more systems, it's more, I guess, ingrained belief that some people have, right? It's delays, it's minimization. I mean, tell me, I don't know. I'm just going off.
Yeah, exactly. We are seeing that Black, colored, indigenous women are dying more, are not receiving the same level of care because their bodies are just, failing. They're dying because the system is failing on purpose. And the fact that it's being exposed now, even when we listen to the rates of indigenous women being violated, raped, hurt on these Indian reservations, right? Or killed, minority women being treated differently, it's scary. It's scary because it's actively hurting. And there has to do a lot with bias. And the woman, it was a woman, like it wasn't even a man, like a man nurse. Because I'm like, okay, maybe a man nurse, but it was another woman nurse. Like, lady, have you not had any kids? Or maybe she didn't, but like, just pure empathy as a human. Like,
the
who
look
cares?
on her face, like she didn't even see human to human, Nyleen. I don't understand how you can look mother to mother, woman to woman. I don't understand how you can look. I mean, yeah, it's the system failing this group of women, Black African American Black women. And I'm sorry. And I hope that, Credentialing Chronicles sheds a light on it because, let's talk about the law. Let's talk about things like that, like how we can fix this, how we can educate people. Let's be annoyingly clear, right? Because the law is annoyingly clear, right? Under EMTALA, active labor equals what, Nyleen? Every time.
Is a medical emergency. Just like I told you, chest pain. Chest pain is a medical emergency, right? I can't.
What'd you say? Open bone, right?
Fracture, open bone. What is that?
Medical emergency.
Medical emergency.
Baby falling out of the cavity. Medical emergency. Okay. I'm sorry. You must evaluate. This is what EMTALA says. You must stabilize. You cannot delay for paperwork and you cannot discharge an unstable patient. And these are laws that were put. And I think, sometimes we go status quo, and we forget that we have some of these protections because I can guarantee you that newer women having babies, 20s, early 30s, maybe not know the EMTALA law. Maybe not, right? Can't quote that.
I didn't know that EMTALA existed. Before I started working in healthcare, who knew that?
Who knows that? And I think that's so it's EMTALA, EMTALA. And we can we'll put it all in the notes, what it means and how you can evoke it if you are in this situation, right? Tell them, Nyleen, she's my certification guru, boo.
That's exactly it. So it's the law says you must evaluate, you must stabilize, you cannot delay for paperwork, you cannot discharge, and you cannot ask about insurance. You don't have to. You're supposed to treat. If it's an emergency, you're supposed to treat. If someone is screaming in active pain, that is a medical emergency, right? So if you leave a laboring woman screaming in the lobby, that is a violation. And it's a full stop. If you discharge a woman who's contracting every minute, it's in violation.
And you can use that. You go to your attorney, you go to the hospital, whatever you guys are, whatever you're doing to remedy, but really the question becomes, if the law is clear and the science is clear and the videos are clear, why did these women still get treated like this? And that's the soapbox that I'm standing on. We're back to the ugly truth because the system treats, I guess, for a lack of a better way to say it, black pain maybe as optional, as maybe it's not as bad. But I'm going to tell you, human to human, mother to mother, I can't imagine it being any different. And I don't understand why that's the mentality of some people.
So what does this look like on the inside? On the quality side, at the hospital side, what happens when hospitals screw up like this? Really, really screw up, right? They'll call it like precipitous labor or unexpected rapid progression or maybe a communication breakdown. But I'm sorry, this event should lead to a complete RCA, right? Root cause analysis, RCA, quality department, peer review, all of it. I want all of it. We need a full analysis. Who was the doctor responsible for that patient? And was that physician notified that they had an active patient in the ER?
Well, let's be honest, right? That only happens, Nyleen, if a hospital wants to be accountable, right? That only happens if a hospital wants to change. If a hospital says, man, y'all, we messed up. And let's see how we can make this better. Let's see how we can help women, regardless of race, creed, age, all of those things, right? Anybody that walks in through our door gets help. And I wish I could tell you, honestly, that the system is safe, because I wish I could tell you racism doesn't affect care, because I think what we're seeing is that it actually does.
What can women do?
Like Carrie did, right? She brought her mother. So thank God, because Carrie could not record her. So her mother's recording her and they were able to, have the evidence needed. Evidence is needed. Document your contractions, your time in, time out. What people say. You clearly say, I'm in active labor. Document that. Are you refusing treatment to me? Get that in on camera. Ask for the charge nurse. I mean, who's your supervisor, ma'am? You're looking at me ugly like you're mad that I'm here having a baby. Can you get your supervisor for me? I mean, what else do you think?
Don't be embarrassed to make noise. I will say the mom was recording. I almost wish like the mom was running to the nurse's station instead of recording and trying to get another nurse in there to say, this person is not listening to me and is not listening to my daughter. So don't be embarrassed to make noise, to say there's something severely wrong. And I'm the first one, I'm totally non-confrontational and I don't like to stir up trouble. But in this case, this is your daughter and she's screaming in pain, like, run out of the room, please. Like, run out of the room, get somebody else. This woman is not helping me. Like, please, at least get her pants off and check her before you even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're saying, you should have brought it to that level. Like, let's check you, baby. Where's your baby at? You know what I'm saying? This lady don't want to check you. I'm going to check you, baby. I mean, is that what? Yeah, yeah. Because taking it there is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So advocacy is what's going to save your life. You have to advocate for yourself because the system isn't doing its job, right? And so, can we talk a little bit about the importance of credentialing and having the on-call schedule? So have you had any experience working with OB call at a hospital before?
Mm-mm.
So OBs were my department when I worked at the hospital, one of my departments. And it was the most drama call, of course, because, women we're always a little bit on the extra side. But anyway, OB patients and OB doctors, when they're on call, like a lot of times they will actually stay at the hospital and they won't leave, which is a huge sacrifice for our physicians. And the reality is there is a financial implication into the actual physician who's your doctor not delivering your baby. So what do you think that her doctor, her OBGYN that's been following her for 9 months hasn't been able to bill yet, because you have to bill after the baby is born, doesn't get to deliver her baby after all of that work? And then nurses, I understand y'all do a lot in labor and delivery, but you're not the physician. You should not be delivering no babies. This is what we have doctors for. This is why we have good doctors for. This is why we have all of our credentialing systems in place to be able to have qualified physicians to do what they say that they can do.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't want to make a determination about somebody's pain. Somebody needs help. I mean, your number one job as a nurse is to go get the help, is to be helpful. I mean, number one job. The squeaky wheel gets the noise. You cannot be embarrassed to talk. You cannot be embarrassed to say, I'm having a baby. Where's the doctor? Where's the nurse manager? The president of the hospital? Get me somebody. Like, I need a bed. I need a yoga ball. Like, I mean, it's just, I just could not imagine. 2 Black women, 2 hospitals, 2 baby born in places, honey, they were never supposed to be born. Okay. 1 week. One pattern, one country that still doesn't believe that black women, when they say, I'm in pain, I need help, I'm not superwoman. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's not sensational. It's not drama. This is American healthcare. Like, this is what's actually happening. And until every hospital confronts the racism within its walls, it's going to keep happening.
Yeah, I think you need to say that, because that's very true. That's very true, Nyleen. What are you thinking? I mean, should we do a shout out for MSPs? This is, just been a really hard time. I mean, what does an MSP do in this situation, right? Find out, who the doctor was.
So find out who the doctor was, and definitely use Baton to make sure you verify all their credentials and that they're board certified and they have their DEA and their licenses up to date and that they are practicing with a valid license. So make sure you use your Baton verification system that will help you to make sure everything is up to date.
Pulls everything.
And then keep it monitoring, because they'll even monitor it for you. Keep your license monitored. Yes. Okay. And you'll get a report if something, comes up on it. So you want your NPDB ongoing monitoring, you want your Baton ongoing monitoring on. But we're going to use that information and we're going to put it to peer review. We're going to put it to peer review because ultimately the physician that was in charge of the floor or was on call that day is ultimately responsible, even though they may not have known. Whether that's clinical leadership, hospital administration, needs to update that culture so that the end user, right, or the person who is seeing the patient has the right attitude and the right culture to treat the patients. And so MSP is, what do we have? We set the culture, we help with peer review, we ensure that everyone is qualified to do what they say they can do. And we are the liaison between HR and credentialing. Like, what if it's an employed doctor? What if in this hospital, it's an employed physician group? So now we've got credentialing and HR together where we have to communicate with each other. Is there going to be repercussions on just the nurse or just the intake person? How is leadership going to handle something like this? From the MSP side, I'd say definitely peer review. It will be a case, obviously, that's a fallout because it's an event that happened. A baby wasn't born the way it was supposed to be born.
I mean, this is a FPPE.
Oh, for sure.
This is what we do at Credentialing Chronicles is we pick it apart. We say, this is how it could be better, and when we're really talking about, the need to kind of look at your processes, assess everything that's going on and see how you can do it better next time. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, you definitely want to have the difference between safety and a catastrophe.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just going to say to our patient population, this show is for you. Please, if you are in a situation, you do not feel well, you do not feel like you're getting adequate care, say something, report something, document something, take out your phone and record. You have that right. And, get the help you deserve.
So until next time,
stay vigilant,
stay loud.
Make sure you stay credentialed.
Not canceled. Okay, we'll see you guys next time.
Ooh, that was a whole lot of tea. Who knew doctors had more drama than reality TV?
And if you think that was wild, just wait till next week. We've got more stories, more scandals, and more credentialing chaos coming your way.
And if you love the tea, please don't keep it to yourself. Like to show us you're listening. Please comment and join the conversation and follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, share so everyone else can sip with us.
Yeah, so see you next time on Credentialing Chronicles. Stay credentialed, not canceled.